Hi, my name is Lynn Pischke, and I've been a development and fundraising professional since 1995. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for Riley's Army and the Executive Director for Cancer Services of Eastern North Carolina. Well, in 1995, my cousin asked me to help out with a dinner dance they were doing that supported pediatric oncology research at Children's Hospital of Michigan and Wayne State University. So I started just as an event volunteer, and then eventually became a board member, and then I eventually became their executive director. And then that position led me to a position at Children's Hospital of Michigan, where I was in charge of raising all of the funds for pediatric cancer research projects at Wayne State University. So that's kind of what got me into the philanthropy role. I started as a volunteer because of a family member who had lost her little boy to leukemia, and she invited me to get involved, and I just completely fell in love with it. Let's see, it was the year 2011, and I was contacted by a recruiter to come for the American Heart Association. They had a Mid-Atlantic affiliate leadership role, and it was a very interesting opportunity. And my husband and I had talked for a very long time about moving south. Not just for the weather, which is, we have 9 months of winter in Michigan, and you do come to just embrace that. That's just reality. But when we looked at Greenville online, we literally it was the same position with the Heart Association in Savannah, Georgia, or in Greenville, North Carolina. And we looked at both towns, and we immediately knew that Greenville was a better fit. We knew that there would be, because of the medical center and the university, a lot of diversity here. A lot of people who were from here, but also a lot of people who had relocated here for opportunities in the local industries. So that's what brought us here. That was 8.5 years ago. We love it. This is now home when we do go to Michigan, and we go several times a year because we still have family that live there, and we have a granddaughter that lives there. So we go there as often as we can, but it's always good to come home. This is home now. The most challenging part is educating the community about the need for basic support for families who are affected by cancer. And we have a food pantry here because one of the most common requests that we would get would be for grocery food cards. And when a family has a cancer diagnosis, whether it's a child that's the patient or an adult that's the patient, the whole family is affected by this disease. Oftentimes, one or both parents are unable to work. Their income is sometimes cut in half. About 50% of families who have had a cancer diagnosis will have to file bankruptcy, which is a shocking thing to have to do. Not only do you have to battle this disease and try to survive, but you also have to try to keep your home, your job, and food on the table. So having a food pantry just allows us to have a free service for people. They can contact me, set up an appointment, and they can come as often as once a week and take whatever they need. A lot of people don't know that the incidence of cancer is considerably higher in Eastern North Carolina than in other parts of the country. There's a lot of theories why, and I'm not a scientist, so I can't speak about that with any type of knowledge. But I can tell you that while a general cancer incidence in another community or part of the country is too high, it's even more so here. And when you combine that with the high level of poverty that we have in Eastern North Carolina, it's really a mix for a lot of devastation for families. We get calls for utility support. I've had calls to fill a propane tank so they had heat. We had a call to put a window air conditioning unit into a mobile home in the middle of July, and the patient was a stage 4 patient. So, this type of support, there was no place else that they could get it. We get referrals frequently from the hospital and healthcare systems and nurse navigators, oncologists, who will send their patient to us after they've done everything they know how to do for them as far as supporting the family. So it's very complicated because we're not only trying to help the family just survive and get through their treatment, but on the other side of cancer, we're trying to give them the support they need to get back on their feet and try to regain their new normal, because once they've had cancer, they're changed. It kind of changes them forever, but it doesn't have to be for the worst. It can really be for the better, and we try to help them make it so. The most exciting part of my work is that every single day is different. Every call that I receive, whether it's a Riley's Army family need or it's a need of someone through Cancer Services, they all have a need, and it's unique to the family. And they're so grateful because oftentimes they're referred to us when literally there are no other resources for them. And we're there for them to do as much as we can possibly do. So although, you know, it may seem small, food support or a utility bill being covered, for them, it is life-changing. So that's the best part of the job. We get to see a lot of sad things, but we get to see a lot more miracles and positive things. People who, you know, probably shouldn't have done as well, and they ended up leading long, wonderful lives. So that's the best part of the job. There are so many ways that you can help either organization. You can be a volunteer, whether that's at the hospital working with families or at an event. You can attend an event, you can be a sponsor, you can have an employee giving campaign at your job. We recently had a very successful campaign for both organizations with Maine Pharma. It was not hard for them to run for us, and it ended up yielding amazing gifts of support for our mission, so it was terrific. So we want to be duplicating that at companies. It can be as easy as a $5 dress down jean day on a Friday, or they might want to participate in our golf event or a 5K. So there's a lot of different ways that they can help. We also are going to have different meetings and support groups, so we like volunteers who have a certain talent that they want to share. Maybe it's a cooking class or an exercise class, or maybe it's a class about insurance benefits and how to navigate insurance with a cancer diagnosis. So we're always looking for volunteers who can help assist us in assisting our families. Well, anyone can contact me anytime at 252-561-5351 or by email at Lynn Pischke, I'll spell that, LYNNPISCHKE @gmail.com. The Riley's Army website is www.rileysarmy.com. And Cancer Services is www.cancerservicesofeasternnc.org. We thank you so much for being interested in our mission, and we do hope to meet you in the coming year. Happy New Year from Riley's Army and from Cancer Services of Eastern North Carolina.